Hello everyone, I'm Ep-3004. Welcome back to Satisfactory. Thank you for coming to hang out with me. I always enjoy having you here. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's get into some gaming. So, the event is done with their birthday. It's been over for a little while, the 24th of September, I want to say, something like that. So it's been over for close to a month right now, and not quite, but close. And so I have figured out some things. What I've done is I built a little bit more to this out here, and I'll show you what I've done. I also have a truck stop shoved farther back here because I have to figure out how to make the truck and the tractor not run into each other, and I may have the tractor over here because it's going to be a tighter turning radius than the truck is. So I can have that be like over here, and then I can have the truck come here. So this one may actually end up being the plastic instead of the rubber, but I can always divert that and all of that. So right now I have some things going on up here. Let me go and show you what I have done. I have a bunch of the foundations up here, and I wasn't too sure how high I needed to build this. This is not high enough, so I just took a ramp up, and now it will go over the top of this thing right here, this manufacturer, and it will not quite clear the driller, but I don't need it to clear the driller, just more like the manufacturer. So if I need to build stuff out this way, I can, and then I can do that. And I also decided to move some things a little bit over here, and I'll show you what that is. Oh, wow, those guys bounce! I did not know that. That's crazy! I did not know those guys bounced. Kind of like Bumbles from, the Rudolph the Reindeer when the Yukon Jack goes and gets the abominable snowman and he bounces. The guy bounces when he hits the bottom. That's crazy. Those are like jumpers or something. That's nuts. That was fun. So in any case, I have put up a ramp here. These things don't quite line up. As you can see, they're off by a little bit. My thought is once I get this stuff cleared, because I'm not going to be using these here anymore. I'm going to be taking those out, both of these, because I can make that stuff really easy, and then I can just shift these foundations really easy, and it doesn't matter if it's lined up over here as much because I mainly need it for this stuff over here, so we can work on that. I am in the process of getting the motors done. They are all done, everything that I can. So I'm going to put the motors in the space elevator, and then we will see if we can start getting the adaptive control units going, which is going to be another one of these because, as you know, we need to make the circuit boards, and then with that we need to come into one of these assemblers, and we need to make this, but we also need another assembler for the computer. So we can have both of these, and there's going to be two assemblers for a lot of stuff. But the plastic should work good, and we'll see what happens. I got to figure out these truck stops and see what's going to happen there. I can move the truck stop a little bit over, like a little ways, because there is some room. And if I do, that's perfectly fine. That's not going to hurt anything, but I do got to make sure that I have enough room for that. As far as the circuit board goes, that's going to be the one thing that I really do have to have a few things coming in, and of course that's going to be these things that are in here, which are the those rolls of the copper sheets, and I got to figure out if I can make those go past here, but I probably can't, so I'm about to build a place here, a conveyor underneath there, and then get it to go into here, and then I can have that coming here. And I also need the plastic for that as well. So I got to work on that to make those, and then once we do that, we have the automated wiring coming into here. So this is not that big of a deal because we need the automated wiring to be able to make those adaptive control units, because that's what that takes. And this is going to be a huge project. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it or not, but we'll figure that out as we go, and hopefully this will work out good. So in any case, I am feeling better. I still have some gurk in my lungs and throat and stuff, but it isn't as bad as it was, so that's for sure. Now, what I have to do is actually, I forgot, I gotta grab those motors and go put those in, so part 2 will be done. This thing is so close to being right, you can actually go over it pretty easy, so that works out really good for me. Now, let's go and get those motors, and let's go put those in. We only need, looks like 41 motors. So we'll just go ahead and we will take those. Okay. And let's just go ahead and let that guy run because that isn't going to hurt anything. And it will continue clearing out some of those plates, the smart plating, so we can get that stuff out of the way too. And once we have that out of the way, then we can, begin moving some things around and all of that. We got to get all this stuff out of the way too. So let's go ahead over to here. Let's go put those in here. And then once we have this all we got to do is figure out the adaptive control units. And that's going to be the hard part. I still haven't finished that over there to turn that into the plastic and rubber. So I'm going to have to work on that too. Let's just go ahead and slap these guys in. So now we have this. 2 of the 3 are done. The adaptive control units aren't going to be terribly hard, I don't think. But we got to figure out how we're going to do this. There's one other thing that I wanted to go over real quick, and that is in this awesome shop. One of the things that we can get from the coupons, which I'm actually going to take out of here, is I'm going to go and take all those coupons. So I have those. Okay, now I have a whole bunch of coupons. I have 62 coupons. What I would like to do in this awesome shop, I don't know anything about the factory carts, but there's a whole bunch of stuff here. You can see like the music and all of that stuff, which is okay. I'm not worried about that. But there is some architecture things that I have been looking at, and I'm thinking about getting the factory ladder so that way we can get up on top of things a lot easier. So let's go ahead and get that, and we will go ahead and add that to the cart. Snaps to walls and foundations. Default height is 2 meters, but can be extended while building. And it takes the rod, so that'll help out quite a bit. Let's go ahead and add that to the cart. Okay. And then we have double ramp set, industrial walkway, structural frame set, and that's just underneath there. So I have the dark module on. Let's go to how do we go? There we go. Architecture. So there is catwalks and personal elevator. Silica in the MAM. So we need to open this by doing silica. I don't think we have a couple of pieces of silica. And advanced steel production, the hub tier 4. So we can make that once we do the silica. And there's a whole bunch of like roof parts and all of that stuff. Pillars, concrete, metal, cables, and barriers and all of that kind of stuff. There's also ventilation, and then under equipment there's a coffee cup, and under parts, of course, all the parts you can make. And then under the walls there is some more parts here like windowed walls and stuff, which would be good for seeing inside if we wanted to. Tilted walls, so that way we could have things angled and that kind of stuff, which would be really good. But I'm more interested in just trying to get things that we need. So I'm thinking about some of this stuff here too, like a stair set. I think that would be good. So let's go and add that to the cart as well. And then we'll get that. So that's cement and the steel plates. Okay, and then I'm probably going to not get all of this stuff right now, but we can get quite a bit. The customizers, which is just paint and stuff like that. Organization, so you can have, indoor lighting, and you can have a hazard box, medical box, all kinds of different things in here. It's a very interesting thing. And the management, so you can have holes in the wall for conveyors, and you can also have pipes in the walls for outlets and all that kind of stuff. And there's all kinds of pipeline floor holes, and you can do all kinds of stuff. So I think that's very, very interesting. I don't know why that is. Power poles Mark II. Okay. So we need to research that in the MAM. So we got to do some research in the MAM as well. And conveyor throughput. Crystal oscillator in the MAM. So there's all kinds of very interesting things. And of course you have the specials, which is the vehicle and all that kind of stuff. Let's go to the cart and let's go ahead and buy these. So that way we have those. It isn't very many, but it's enough.
Fix-It is not responsible for personal damage, environmental damage, psychological damage, or lowered standards that may result from use of these products. Enjoy your purchase.
So, in other words, they're not going to be responsible if we fall off the ladder. Basically what they're saying. So that way we have the ladder, so we can put the ladders up. Now, where that is, I don't know. I have no... Oh, architecture. Sweet. Ladders. Okay, and there's walls. So there's that. Foundations. Now we have the stairs. So the... Oh, 2 and 4 meter stairs. Nice. Awesome. So that way we can actually build stuff up if we want to. That's great. All right. Now, most of that's done. I need to go over and get plastic. I have not gotten any plastic at all. So I do have, is this the tractor that I want? This is not the tractor that I want because that one has the coal in it. I wanted to go to my other tractor over here and start using him to get the plastic. And I'll have that set up and I'm going to wire those guys in first so that way they can unload the plastic. But I want to go make sure how this is going to work first because I do got to make sure of that. So this guy's full of that. There's a whole bunch of the petroleum coke in here, which is what this is going to be using for fuel. And then we can get more stuff in here. So let me go and get this stuff going. I'm going to go up on top of here. I'm going to drive over there and I'm going to see which one might work the best. I did rearrange this a little bit a couple times to try to make things work because I want to leave enough room for things to move around. So I don't know which one is going to be better for the tractor and which one for the truck. I may put the truck over here because I think it would be easier and then it can just turn around. But the tractor's going to have a lot of room too. And I think maybe what I'm going to do... Whoa, 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 woo, 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 woo. Okay, let's turn this baby around. Tractor can actually come right over here and then he can come into here, do this, turn that around like that, unload that, and then we can move on. The truck, however, is going to be a little bit different because he is going to be a little bit harder to do, so I really have to figure that out. What I am probably going to have to do, however, is see about, for one, wiring this up and making this this guy will be not empty soon, but empty at some time, into the plastic one, and maybe move him over this way, as I said, just so I can get him a little bit better set up for this one, because now we have already 7 motors in there. So let me go work on this and figure out what I can do, and then I will figure out what I'm going to do with this, because I don't need all this stuff for sure. I'll dump this somewhere. I'll figure out a place to put it, and the petroleum coke doesn't need to go inside either. So I'm going to have to definitely do some work around and see what I can do. So for right now, I have changed things a little bit. This is the plastic one. It doesn't have any plastic in it because I set it to load by accident. So when the tractor comes back from all the way over there where we have our first oil drillers, he's going to unload the plastic into there, go across here and into this assembler. This assembler will be making circuit boards, and then we'll be able to take those guys out here. I'm going to build one of those going up to the top, and then we'll be able to have one of these up there, and I will have that make computers because we need the computers for the adaptive control units. So we also need, for the adaptive control units, we need these parts that are also those frames. And those frames are, of course, in here. So I'm going to have to take another one of those lifts and have them go from here and then have them raise all the way up there so I can make one of those. I also did rearrange this a little bit differently, so I made this stuff match. So I have a ramp going down here, and this is the rubber one. And this one over here is the plastic one, so I have things a little bit better organized so I can actually grow a little bit easier, and hopefully that will work. The tractor will be coming back, and I also decided that what I'm going to have to do, I'm not going to use the truck over there with that because it's just not going to work. There's not enough room. So I made another tractor, and I parked it right over here, and I'm going to use that tractor to get the rubber whenever we get that far, whenever that is. But for right now, what I'm about to do is, I don't know if I have any of the rods or not. I do have quite a few rods. Let's make some ladders going up to the top, and then that way we can begin setting up the assemblers up there so we can have that. And I need to figure out where I'm going to put those. So this guy's filling up with these things, the copper sheets, and then the plastic can be made and all of that kind of stuff can be put in there. And I'm thinking, let's see if we can begin making the stuff here, the ladders. So I don't know if we can start at the top. It looks like we can start at the top. Okay, so let's go and do that. And then I'll just build these down. Sweet. All right, so now we can go all the way up to the top. And now we're up on top. Sweet. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is take one of those lifts from that cargo thing over there. And then I'm going to have it come somewhere over here. Let me go ahead and make a few more of these. I took out the walls because I had to. So I didn't really have a lot of option there really. Because I needed the space for the copper sheets. I think that will work. This guy, I guess he will work there too. So I can probably just go ahead and do that. I'm not going to be able to do that because of that out there. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. So now we have that. Let me go ahead and see if I can, in fact. I could probably also make this a little bit wider, you know that? And then I can put up, you know, some walls somewhere, make this work. I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have that sticking out there like that. Now I need to get up over here and let me go ahead and take a snapshot of that assembler. This assembler is going to have to come over here like this. I'm missing some modular frames. So I'm going to have to go get some of those, and then I can see about putting him like maybe over there. I think that would be good because I don't need a lot of stuff coming in here. I just have to get this set up. So let me grab those and we'll set this guy up. Sweet, so we're starting to make these things in here. So we got the plastic. Yay! So now we can make circuit boards. Awesome. So that means this one is working good. There's a lot of plastic in there. It won't take too long to fill this up, and then I'll shut that tractor down and delete this track for now. I will make another track later. I just wanted to get that done. So now I need to get back up top and make that again. If I can get that manufacturer clipping, okay. What do you mean surface is too uneven? It's crazy. There we go. And then maybe move that guy up a little bit, like right there. And then we can have that manufacturer sitting right there. I don't know if I'll be able to have a second manufacturer over here, but I can go ahead and build some walls over there, or some, you know, these floors if I need to. And I think that's going to work. Now I just need to get power to up here. And then I got to build all that other stuff to get that to go up here. And that's going to be where I'm going to have a little bit of a fun time, because I may want to turn that. I'm going to have to back that up a little bit, because what I thought I'm going to have to do is also... Oh, there we go. I didn't know you could get down off there like that. Okay. Take this guy right here, and I'm going to have to, like, bend him around to go up there. So I may have to take out one of these floor pieces. Let me go take a look and see how I'm going to do this exactly, because right now I just don't know. All right, I think I have things mostly figured out. It is a complete disaster right now, and I'll go and show you. So in here, I have a splitter here, which is taking these cables from there and then sending it through here. And then it is going up here into a manufacturer. And then in this manufacturer, I also have those heavy-duty frames, you know, the modular frames. And I also have the plastic, which is going into here, which is not quite right yet either, because I don't need the modular frames in here. I just need... Okay. So I have all 4 connections, and that means this one is not right. This one can actually make something else. So I'm going to have to get rid of this because I messed that up already. I can see because I thought that I was making the right things in here, but I was not. I can make the adaptive control units, but I need the computers to be able to be made first, and then I can make the adaptive control units. So I am going to have to rework stuff because I didn't realize that I had messed that up quite that bad, unless I do this a little bit differently, and this has been kind of hard, so I'm going to probably move these frames back down into there. So let me get rid of this. So what that means is right now I can make some of the computers. So this is going to be getting the cable in, and the cable should be loading up. Okay, it's now loading up the cable. I just had to rework it. So for whatever reason, that guy was not taking the cable and loading it in. So now I'm making the computers. Once those start being made, I can export those out here, and then I can make an assembler that will, or a manufacturer that will be able to take those frames and actually put those into another one. So let me go see if I can, in fact, build another manufacturer out here or something. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to build it right there because it's going to mess with that. And these guys are, looks like about 2 wide. So I could probably have the manufacturer do that. Now, I should probably build it out this way instead. So let me go ahead and do that. So I got that done. Now this other tractor's coming over. I don't think he's going to be doing anything right now. So I don't believe he has anything on him. Let me just go check and see. Nope, he does not. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going, tractor? The tractor decided he was just going to take off on his own. How do you like that? Doggone tractor, he got all discombobulated. So I don't need that anymore, and I can get rid of that path. Because this guy unloaded all of the plastic that there was, so that's alright too. I don't know if I can actually get up on there or not. There we go, I can. Sweet. Alright, I am going to turn off the autopilot so that way he doesn't go anywhere. Now, I am going to be running out of plastic here very soon. I do have a lot of plastic in there, but for right now, I just don't need it. So, let me... I am going to delete the path. So let me go back on the tractor and I'll get rid of the path. Okay, there we go. You just press V for, you know, the path, or R, I guess it is. And then you can delete it. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that plastic path for right now. Confirm. Okay, the plastic path should be done, and now there shouldn't be anything left. Now, why all these nodes are here, I don't know, but... So, I don't know how to get rid of all these nodes. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna have to... I can just press X. There we go. Yay! Now it's all gone. Okay, cool. So I got rid of that. Now, that's going to be doing that. Now comes the hard part, because now I have to figure out where I'm going to put the other manufacturer, because I need the other manufacturer to take all these computers. And then I need to get him set up so that he can load up all of those, or we can figure out a way to get those over to there. Could just put a manufacturer in here, but I'm going to have to figure this out. So let me go see what I can do. Okay, I think I figured this out a little bit. It is a jumble of a mess. So I had to have circuit boards go into here because when you make the adaptive control unit, you need circuit boards. So from all the way down here, I do have a splitter coming from here, which is coming out of there from the circuit boards. So I have that, and then that is going up into here. Let me get back up on top. I have the adaptive these things right here, not the adaptive control units, but these these automated wiring coming out to here, and then it's going up into a lift and up into another lift, and then it's going around the corner to the top, or up around the corner to the top, I guess it is. And then up here, I have this coming all the way over. So the computers are being made in here. There's almost 50 computers in there. It's going into here, and this thing has everything that it needs in here. I have the circuit boards on this one, and I have those frames on that one, and then of course the automated wiring, yes, into that one. So now this one is going to be making the adaptive control units. Is all I need to do is get a line from here over to there, and now we're going to be making adaptive control units. So this thing is now going to be making this, and it's going to take a little bit, 1 minute. Okay, that's cool. And then we can of course build more of these out here to be able to get, things around so we can actually deliver the goods, because we're going to have to do that too. Boy, this is kind of dangerous. Do you know that? Let me just go ahead and do this. I am not fond of floating structures, so I'm going to have to figure out how I am going to actually make this, have walls for support and stuff, because I don't like the floating structure thing. I think that's silly, but that's the way this game is sometimes done, so, that's what's going on here. Plastic is probably going to be getting pretty low in this guy, just because it isn't super low yet, but at 200 plastics each, there is a lot of that. And all these computers are being made, so they take about 24 seconds, so they will be doing pretty good too. Now, for the automated wiring, let me just go make sure that the automated wiring is actually in fact working, and looks like it is. Okay, this will be making automated wiring. It's going to take 24 seconds, and then it will make one, and there it goes. Cool. So we're making everything that we need, and this has been a major pain to try to figure this stuff out. What I could do over here, I guess, is go ahead and have one of the walls that I would like, because then I can have that, and that would be good. Then I can just have a wall come down and be a support structure for here. That way I just think that looks a lot better, and then I don't have to worry about it. The walls are orange, I know, but whatever. So this guy is actually going out to the edge of here, so I think that's actually going to work out pretty good. I could make the walls come down through here. I know that would actually work out good, and it could work. I just cannot make a wall come down here, so let me... wall should be right down here, and I don't think I'm going to make a wall, or I don't think I'm going to make anything out more this way, so I could just go ahead and make a wall right there. Mainly because this thing right here is in the way, and I'm not able to do anything with that, because, unless I move this, which I really, really do not want to. That way it looks like I have a little bit of support, and I guess that's good, and then I can probably just go and put up a wall through these rocks. It would at least look supported, I guess. That would be the best way to put it. And then we have that. All right, so we're making the last parts that we need for our space elevator to be able to launch the things up to the next level so that we can get the next things done. It's going to take a little bit to get all this done, but it should be coming here pretty soon. Boy, these things are a royal pain to get set up, but I'm glad I have this upper level up here to really help get that stuff done. Computers are definitely coming. We have lots of everything that we need. And now we have 3 adaptive control units, and all of the other stuff is being made. I don't know how fast it's going to be able to make all of the other things with like those heavy modular frames. So let me go over and check on those and make sure those are doing okay. I had to set up a lot of different things here and go all kinds of different ways and everything like that, and just kind of looks really funky, but I guess it will work. And then I set this up with a double one just to make that go all the way over. Okay, that guy's doing that. This guy is getting the steel pipes. There's enough screws. And then once the steel pipes come, then he'll be able to make more modular frames, and that's going to work. And of course, this thing is struggling to get anything going because the statters are being slow from here because it's not getting the steel pipes. Now, wherever those steel pipes are, I'm not too sure. Hopefully they're in transit, but I don't know that for sure. So I guess I'm going to have to do a little bit of looking here to see what the heck the holdup is. So if you remember correctly, some time ago, I did build a manufacturer out here that I was going to make the heavy modular frames in. I have since abandoned that project, and what I have done is I forgot that I shut down all of the pumps for, all the makers for like the steel pipes and stuff. So I have turned those back on, so I have those. And I have diverted the screws and the and the modular frames to head over that way. So I have that. So those guys are doing that. This one was actually going that way. But I diverted the steel pipes. So I have the steel pipes coming from out of here. I got rid of that container because I didn't need it. And then that's going up into there along with the steel pipes that are also being diverted from here. And there's a splitter, so it's going 2 ways, and then that way I can get a lot of steel pipes going out there. So I have a whole bunch of screws now heading over towards where I need them to be, and that's going to help, because the screws are some of the hardest parts to be able to get right now, and they just always seem to take a really long time to get their way to there. But this is going to help get a whole bunch more screws into here, which means that I can make a whole bunch more of these heavy modular frames a lot easier, because the screws going into here don't seem to be as needed as much, because there's only like 25 or so for each piece, whereas there's like a lot in the heavy modular frames. So we have that going on. Now I'm going to get rid of that manufacturer that's all the way over there. And we have a whole bunch of stuff happening over here. I am going to let this guy go dry, and then I, of course, have him disconnected, and then I will hook him back up once I need the copper ingots, along with this guy here, which has those copper sheets, and this guy here, which, of course, has the cable, which is almost gone. Then I'll just have a line going and start everything back up. So that way I can get rid of a whole bunch of containers that I really don't need, because it can make the stuff fast enough. And then in here we now have the adaptive control units. So we should be having quite a few in here. The automated wiring is coming. It is a little bit slower, but it is coming. So it is making that at least, and that's good. I also have automated wiring over there, over yonder, on the other side, way over there, where I have all that stuff set up, because I was making motors and stuff over there. But I can probably have that automated wiring also be diverted, because it was also making stators. But we have all this stuff happening, so this is working out pretty good. It is a little different, but it seems to be working pretty good, and that's really what matters to me. So we need 100 of these adaptive control units, and then we will be able to put that into the space elevator. So things are coming along. We also have some walls. We have a ladder now, which is great. I really do like that part a lot. So there we go. So I'm going to be consolidating things down and moving things. We're now using a lot more coal because now I'm making the steel pipes again. And I want to also be able to make a whole bunch of stuff over here. Let's go check out this over here for a quick minute. Once we get the other power going at the other place where the oil is being floated over here, I will shut all of this stuff here down. I won't be needing these, and that'll save a lot of extra stuff. And this guy should be getting closer to empty. He is. And again, I will just make those things in here because they only take 15 seconds. But I'll shut that down once I get rid of this. And then I can just hook a line, hopefully straight up. Pretty close to over here. And I may put in, you know, some sort of way to hook it up a little bit quicker or something, but we will see what happens. So we are getting very close to getting this phase 3 done. We only need a few of these, 100 of those, and then we can get to phase 4, and then we can open up even more stuff from there. So I still have to figure out where I need to find more things, and as far as I know, let's go to V. We can scan for Caterium now, and we can scan for quartz. So we can scan for a lot of other things that are really going to help us out a lot, and that's going to be good. So I don't really need to worry about the limestone, but I'd much rather have a go to that than something else, and then we will figure that out. So, this is Satisfactory. Thank you for joining me here. And how am I doing so far? What do you think of the projects that I have going on? Do you like how I'm doing things? Do you think it's good? Do you enjoy it? Do you think I could do better in some areas? Because, all that stuff really helps me to do better. So I know what, you want to see and how I can better make things happen too. So if you leave me a comment, let me know how things are going. That would be great. And we have a whole bunch of stuff going on. We got all this stuff figured out. It is a jumble of a mess, but it is working, and it's not as clean as I would like it. But this is also my first time ever playing this game and trying to figure out how to do everything. So I don't think it's horrible. It's just a little bit of a hot mess making all this stuff happen. So let me know what you think about everything going on here, and if you enjoyed this episode, drop a like on the video. And now we have a whole bunch of things happening, and we'll be continue to work on more things to get more stuff done. In the meantime, you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.